Let's go ahead and talk about that actually, because remember at the tail end of last year was the annual election period, and that kept you very, very busy, Scott and Troy,
Yes.
both of you. Right now, it is the open enrollment period of Medicare. Let's talk about that because I think people might hear annual election period, open enrollment period, not really know the difference. Can you explain exactly what this open enrollment period means to people over the age of 65 and what they should be paying attention to before this period ends?
Sure, absolutely. It's funny when I do my educational events. I always during my presentation I ask some questions, and I try to get a little bit of the audience involved, and I ask them, who can tell me what period we're in, and I usually do these events during the annual enrollment period, and I hear shouts from the crowd, and Troy, you can attest to this, but they all say open enrollment, open enrollment. It's like, well, no, it's not open enrollment. It's actually the annual enrollment. Well, now, January 1st through March 31st is actually the open enrollment period. So let me take just a couple of minutes here and explain exactly what it is, and then what you can do during that period, and then how Troy and I at AMA can help you out with that. So, what the actual open enrollment period is, it like I said, is from January through March 31st. This is the time for Medicare when you can make that one last do-over change, so to speak, to your Medicare plan. Now, what this means is if you have an Advantage plan, you can make a change to that plan during that period. If you make a change in January, it becomes effective February, and February becomes effective in March, and so on. March would be effective April 1st. Once you make that change, then that plan and that policy is in force for the rest of that period. Okay? So if you were to sign up for an Advantage plan during the annual enrollment period, see, I just kind of fumbled that myself, but if you signed up for a plan during the annual enrollment period, and for whatever reason, when you moved into the January 1st time frame, and you went to a doctor that didn't take that plan for some reason, they dropped, or a medication went off of the formulary that we may have missed, or maybe you've gone on a new drug that's not covered on that plan, and you want to make a change, this is when we do that change, And we've run into that a lot. When the people came in, one of the things, Troy, when we sat with the clients, they always said, prescriptions are killing us, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the one thing. I love my plan, but we got to do something with medications. Prescriptions are killing us. And, you see these commercials all the time on TV about these, Ozempic and Trulicity and Mounjaro and a lot of these high dollar medications. Well, each company covers those medications differently. So if you're in a situation where the plan you originally signed up for last year isn't going to do what we thought it was going to do for this year, during the open enrollment period, we make that change. And then once again, next October 15th will be the annual enrollment period for 2024, and we can make a change again at that time for anything new. So one of the things that we do here at AMA is we'll actually sit down with you and go through all of the information again and make sure that if we do make that change, then we're going to make that change in a positive direction and make sure that it's going to work best for you going into 2024. So, the open enrollment period is here. Let's make sure that we take advantage of it. If for any of you out there that want to make some change to your plan, one last do-over or mulligan in the golf terms, you get that mulligan. Now is the time to do that moving into 2024. Troy, you have anything to add to that, or?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, here at AMA, we're here for the best interests of all of our clients, and there's a lot of great Advantage plans out there, but some of them might not be geared towards you. So our goal is just get you in for an appointment and find whatever plan is best geared towards you.
Exactly.
And the other thing I would say to that is I think, one of the things that is unique about what we do here and what America's Medicare Associates does is coming up on Friday, it's February 16th, we have an open house here. So maybe you're either with us, maybe you're not with us, but if you have a question and you're wondering, do I have the right plan? Maybe you called an 800 number and all of a sudden you're switched plans and you've been kind of laying at bed at night saying, gosh, if something happens, I just want to make sure that I'm confident about what I have. And you want somebody to take a look at that and just say, hey, help you understand the pros and cons of what your plan is. Just as Troy points out, if you want to get a time set on the schedule, they also offer 30-minute telephone consultations, or we have that date, February 16th, is our open house. But again, as you talk about one last chance to try to get it right, and obviously with health insurance being one of the biggest concerns for people that are close to or in retirement time, making sure that you get it right and making sure that you're educated about what your choices are is what we can do here, helping out around the headquarters.
Right. You make a great point there, Nolan. A lot of times when we're doing our events, we run into people that have purchased a plan, not necessarily unhappy with it, but they have no representation. And this is the time where if you didn't get an opportunity during the annual enrollment period to sign on with us, and you've thought about it, and now you want to do that, you want us to be in your corner, right? That's what it's all about. Is we can help you, and reach out to us, get on our schedule. We'll get you converted over. So Troy or myself, if you have any problems, questions with your medications, we can help you out with that. Just one side note to the annual or the open enrollment period and the annual enrollment periods. If any of you are clients of a Advantage plan that has a prescription drug card with it, and you're having trouble getting your mail order renewable medications to you, reach out to us. There have been some issues. You would think that moving from 2023 to 2024, it should be a smooth transition. There have been issues. I was made aware of an issue just last week about a prescription drug plan that the medications didn't get moved over to the 2024, so now they have to put them all in new. We can help with all of that. So reach out to Troy or myself at americasmedicareassociates.com or on the ARHQ website. We're a click away.
Obviously, the hope is that during the annual election period, you got all your T's crossed, all your I's dotted, but perhaps you weren't working with America's Medicare Associates at the time, or you just want a second set of eyes on it. You want to make sure that this is, in fact, going to be the best plan for you going forward. It doesn't hurt to take a look, right? The number's 419-794-3030. You can also reach out, as Scott said there. You can go to arhq.com, click on the events tab, find out more about that open house coming up on February 16th, including how to reserve your space, and many other events coming up here. They're all on the events page at arhq.com.